presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Minnesota.
It is a beautiful day for baseball at Target Field, and the Twins have one more chance to beat the Cleveland Indians and turn this into a winning homestand. And welcome to Target Field. Bert Blylev and Dick Braver for the final game. The Indians have come in here, beaten the Twins in back-to-back games. They have yet to lose since the All-Star break. So now the Twins will hand the ball to Francisco Liriano, and maybe a talisman for them because Liriano's beaten the Indians twice already this year.
Well, one thing that the Twins need here this afternoon is to Liriano to go deep into the ball games, and that's something that he has done so far this year. In 2 starts against the Indians, one coming in April, one coming in early May, he's 2-0. 15 innings. He's allowed only 3 earned runs, 15 strikeouts. Liriano, a strikeout pitcher. He is 4th right now in the American League in strikeouts, averaging over a strikeout per inning.
Well, the Twins' first couple months of the year were playing really good baseball, and one of the components in the first 2 months, a healthy and productive J.J. Hardy.
Well, you know what? The Twins really rely on good defense, and when they got J.J. Hardy from the Milwaukee Brewers for Carlos Gomez, they knew he was a good defensive hitter or player, but what about his offense? He hit .229 last year. Well, that has picked up ever since he's come off the disabled list in the second half so far in the 6 ball games, hitting over 400. And this guy's a .270 career hitter. I think he's getting back to the form he was back in 2008.
Well, the Twins hope that Francisco Liriano can pitch like an ace here today. When we come back, we'll flash back to one of the 50 greatest Twins who came to the Twins in a trade, Mudcat Grant. Or go to northwoodford.com. And buy Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
The Twins have lost back-to-back games. The Indians have won 6 straight, but the Twins will try to salvage one in this 3-game series this afternoon at Target Field. Hi again, everyone. I'm Marnie Gellner. To celebrate 50 years of Twins baseball, we continue to recognize the 50 greatest Twins. And that group was voted on by senior members of the Twins staff as well as journalists throughout Twins territory. And this afternoon, we honor James Timothy Mudcat Grant, who helped the Twins to the 1965 World Series. Calvin Griffith is a former owner of the Twins. His son, Clark Griffith, tells Mudcat's story.
Jim Grant played for 7 clubs in 14 Major League seasons, winning 145 and losing 119 games. But fate has permanently connected him to the Minnesota Twins. His only 20-win big league season helped the Twins into their first World Series in 1965. And some people said the Twins won the American League pennant that year because Mudcat was no longer pitching against the Twins. When Minnesota acquired the 28-year-old, he was barely a .500 pitcher, but his record against the Twins franchise was 22-6. The team was happy to have him on its side. Mudcat went on to win 50 games for the Twins, and when it was all over, nearly half of his career wins were either for or against Minnesota. Jim Grant grew up poor in Florida, where he was a remarkable athlete. He was offered a college football scholarship and played baseball instead. He played for Fargo during his first pro season in 1954, winning 21 Northern League games with his combination of fastball, breaking pitches, and off-speed deliveries. Driven by his intense competitiveness, he was soon in the big leagues. Jim Grant's finest moment came in the 1965 World Series, where he beat the Dodgers twice with his pitching and batting skills. Charming, extroverted, and ebullient, sports writers loved him, and he stayed in the media spotlight during off-seasons with his Mudcat and the Kittens nightclub act. Jim Grant is an indelible part of Twins history. Jim Thielman, author, Cool of the Evening.
Cool of the Evening, written by Jim Thielman, is a book about the 1965 Twins, the year Mudcat won 21 games. This afternoon, Francisco Liriano will try to win his 8th game of the season. Twins and Indians are next.
To win a ball game, it's a series finale and homestand finale, and the Twins, who took 3 out of 4 from Chicago, have dropped the first 2 to the hottest team in the American League, the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, Indians have won the first 6 games coming out of the break, but they've also are 14-7 over their last 21 ball games. So hopefully the Liriano will be on here this afternoon, and the Twins can leave for Baltimore with a victory.
Asdrubal Cabrera will lead things off. First pitch on the inside corner of strike.
Well, Cabrera just activated off the disabled list, where he spent 2 months on a disabled list with a broken left forearm. 0 for 5 in last night's ball game. Cabrera, a switch hitter, is a right-handed hitter, hitting .277, and also is a left-handed hitter, hitting .277.
Just outside, 2-1.
Liriano making his 19th start of the year, his 3rd against the Indians.
Good success against the Indians. He's had a tough time with Cabrera. 7 hits and 12 at bats against Liriano. Fly ball, short right field. Kubel with the catch, 1-1. The Menards batting order for Maniacta's Cleveland Indians. Asdrubal Cabrera, followed by Jason Nix, Carlos Santana, the designated hitter, Johnny Peralta, Matt Laporta, Shelley Duncan in the middle, Trevor Crowe, Jason Donald, and Chris Jimenez round out the Cleveland batting order.
And the Dodge Ram scouting report on Liriano, making his 19th start, his 3rd against the Indians, and he's had 2 great starts. 15 innings in those 2 starts combined, 15 strikeouts, only allowed 3 earned runs. And they need a good quality start here this afternoon. Baker in game 1, not a quality start last night, even though Slowey worked 4 very good innings. He tired in the 5th and 6th and ended up getting a no decision in the 4-3 Indian win.
Tapper to short. Hardy to Kadire, 2 down. Portland Ford defense for the Twins. Delman Young in left, and Art Span in center, Jason Kubel in right. Nick Punto, J.J. Hardy left side of the infield, Hudson and Kadire the right side, Drew Butera behind the plate, Joe Mauer not catching, not the designated hitter, and Ron Gartenhire not the manager. Family situation has taken Gardy away from the team today, and Scotty Ulger is the acting manager.
Gardy is expected to join the team in Baltimore.
Here's Carlos Santana, the Cleveland designated hitter. Up and away, ball 1.
Yeah, a lot of these players starting the season in the minor leagues for the Indians. Indians going through a big transition, letting a lot of young kids play. Santana coming up on June 11th, a switch hitter. Better numbers as a left-handed hitter, but not a lot of at-bats yet at the major league level as a right-handed hitter.
2-0 to Santana.
Santana hitting only 167 as a right-handed hitter, but 351 as a lefty. Tara's going to tell Liriano, stay back, get on top of that baseball.
3-0 with Peralta on deck. And strike 3-1. Liriano coming off an awfully big ball game. Twins needed a win against the White Sox after a tough loss the night before, and Liriano delivered. 7 2/3 innings, just a couple of earned runs allowed. Now 3-2. Full count to the Cleveland DH. Liriano's win was his first win in more than a month. He had lost 4 decisions and had a no decision in between his win against Atlanta here on June 11th and his victory over the White Sox on the 16th. And Liriano comes back from 3-0 to strike out Santana. Gorgeous afternoon for baseball. Twins will try to get the first run up on the board. Another sellout crowd here at Target Field. And the Menard batting order for the Twins. Denard Span leading things off. Orlando Hudson. Delman Young moving up to third in the absence of Joe Mauer. Then Kubel, Kadair, and Tomey. Hardy, Punto, and Butera.
Let's take a look at the Jeep scouting report on the starter for the Indians here this afternoon. Jake Westbrook making his 20th start of the year. Well, the Twins saw Justin Masterson last night, a good sinker baller. Here's another good sinker ball pitcher right here. In his first season back, after having Tommy John surgery in June of 2008, missed all of last year, and been pretty consistent this year. 6 wins, 5 losses for the Indians. There's Masterson right there. Good job by him last night.
Span flares one foul, 2 strikes. Westbrook 6-5, a nice comeback year. He is in the final year of his deal with the Indians, will be a free agent next year, which necessarily means he's on the market toward the end of this year. Probably doesn't figure into Cleveland's plans beyond this year. So as contending teams are scurrying looking for pitching help, you can imagine Westbrook possibly would be on the move.
Yeah, he's shown so far that his arm is healthy again. 113 2/3 innings, 37 walks, 3 intentional with 67 strikeouts. He's always been a guy that strikes out, 4 or 5 guys, maybe 6 in a ball game. But if he gets a lot of ground ball outs, that's what he tries to do. Nick Blackburn should be watching here because this is a good sinker ball pitcher that has some major league experience and had success at the major league level.
Back-to-back seasons of 15 wins, 14 wins the year before that.
You see very good numbers right there. The walks, the strikeouts. Done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
He strikes out Span to start the ballgame. Northland Ford defense for the Cleveland Indians. Jason Nix, a utility player in left. Trevor Crow in center. Shelley Duncan in right. Peralta, Cabrera, Donald, and Laporta around the infield. And Chris Jimenez filling in now for Mike Redmond as the backup catcher for the Indians.
The Twins have not seen Westbrook for a while. The last time he pitched against the Twins, you have to go back to April of 2008. He lost 3-0 to Nick Blackburn in that outing. But he has, over the years, pitched pretty well against the Twins. 7 wins, 9 losses. Very good 3.62 ERA in 17 career starts against the Twins.
Pitch up, and now 1 at the belt, 1-1. And now 2-1. Twins went through it with Joe Mays a few years ago, promising pitcher. Twins signed Mays to a long-term deal, and then Joe had elbow problems, ended up having the Tommy John surgery. It was a high pop-up, short left field. Nix comes in. Out number 2. And Westbrook now with 6 wins this year in the final year of his 3-year deal. He's so far given the Indians 13 wins for their $33 million.
Well, that's one thing you can't control is injuries. Joe Nathan went down this year. The Twins thought he was going to be the closer this year. He went down with a Tommy John surgery.
2 down. Here's Delman Young.
Look what Pavano went through in New York for 4 years. So.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch from Jake Westbrook. Joe Mauer getting the starting lineup off. And Young taking over the 3rd spot in the batting order. Another breaking ball and another swing and a miss. One and 2.
Delman 0 for 4 in last night's ball game, but over his last 40 ball games, hitting .370. So he's been swinging a hot bat.
Grounding one foul to keep the at-bat alive. Still 1 and 2.
Delman just 2 for 15 lifetime against Westbrook.
And another foul.
Gives you a little different arm angle. Drop down a little bit right there. Fastball, outer half of the plate.
We're taking a little look at target field. 1-2. Right off the end of the bat. And reported to Westbrook. Safe. He missed the base.
Herman Danley, the first base umpire, saying Westbrook did not get to the bag. Westbrook still saying, I stepped on the bag. Saw this last night with Kevin Slowey and Michael Kadire having to do this play right here, right off the end of the bat. And Delvin Young hustling down the line. Westbrook looking for the feed. And then it sure looked like the corner of his foot hit the bag.
Yeah.
They'll give Westbrook an error.
Well, the Twins maybe get a base runner and an extra out here in the first inning. We'll see what Kubel can do with a first inning at bat.
You know, I think what the reason that Danley said that he missed the bag is because he kind of went back and tried to hit it again. If he just goes through it, watch when he catches this ball right here. He steps on the bag right there in the corner, and then he kind of pushed it again.
Right. One strike to Kubel. And up high. I want to say Joe McGrain was involved in a similar play in the '87 World Series. Just flashing back through the '87 highlight video. Greg Gagne beat out a ball like that. And on the inside corner, 1-2. Twins got a first inning run last night. Trying to get one here this afternoon. 2-2. 20 pitches already for Westbrook here in the first inning.
Jason Kubel 3 for 16 lifetime against Westbrook.
Two and two to Kubel. On the left field line. It'll be a very long run for Jason Nix. But he's there to end the inning. Twins get an infield hit, leave Young aboard, no score after one.
Francisco Liriano got through the first pretty easily, but the Twins have had some issues with their starting pitching. They are addressing that now, and this morning acting manager Scott Alger addressed the change in the Twins starting rotation.
I just spoke with Andy, and he said temporarily Blackie's going to go to the bullpen, and it's not a permanent thing. It's just to give him a chance to take a step back, take a deep breath, and regroup a little bit. And Brian's going to take his spot, Dunsing, after Pavano.
And so Dick and Bert with Scott Alger saying it's just a temporary thing. You would think that it means Blackburn might get some time in the bullpen to just sort of relax. Maybe taking a step back is what he needs, but you would think that the Twins are hoping he comes back to form and ends up back in that starting rotation eventually.
Yeah, they just want him to relax a little bit out there, and if he does get the opportunity to come into a ball game, maybe get get some of the kinks out and everything. But there's been, like the Tigers, they've sent 3 pitchers down to AAA, and I know I talked to Terry Ryan. They still have options left on Nick Blackburn, so that option was there to send him down to Rochester and let him get in, 2 or 3 starts, whatever it takes. But the Twins feel that Blackburn right now is best suited to be out in that bullpen so they can kind of work with him while he's here.
If not Blackburn, the Twins are still presumably are going to need to make a move. Carrying 13 pitchers, it is anticipated that Alexi Casilla will be activated while we are in Baltimore. The Twins want to cut back to 12, so if not Blackburn, then someone else needs to be taken off the 25-man roster. 1-2 to Peralta. And just missing the inside corner.
Good slider right there.
Well, you're right about the Tigers, though. They sent Rick Porcello down, a sinker baller.
Max Scherzer.
Right.
Yep. Good pitch right there, just on the inner half of the plate.
And now another full count. It was a 3-2 count with Santana at the plate. 2 gone in the first inning, and Liriano came back to strike him out on a check swing. Peralta, Laporta, and Duncan here in the second for Cleveland.
Hey, threw Santana on a 3-2 slider. And he tried a slider again, this time missed. Liriano's done a pretty good job of not walking a lot of batters. 33 walks now in 116 innings pitched.
Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. So a man aboard and Matt Laporta coming to the plate.
Laporta having a very good series the last couple of games. 4 hits and 8 at-bats with a walk. He scored a couple runs. And since June 27th, when really they got rid of Russell Brandon, Laporta getting more at-bats, he's making the most out of it, hitting .344.
He spanks a single to right on the first pitch, and the Indians have a threat. First and second, nobody out.
First hit of the ball game, and that's what Laporta did last night against Slow. He got a breaking ball up and kind of an inside-out swing, hit it past the diving Hudson in the last night's ball game.
And so now Shelley Duncan will hit. Duncan delivered a big hit in the ball game last night, a 2-run single that landed on the left field line.
Yeah, that coming off of Jesse Crain, who relieved Kevin Slowey with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Not the situation you want to come into a ball game, and Duncan was a little bit out front, looked like a pitch up that he hit right down that third baseline.
And first ball swinging, a foul, 1 strike. Twins took 3 out of 4 from Chicago, but then the White Sox have won a couple of games out in Seattle while the Twins have lost 2 here at Cleveland. So since the break, Chicago and Minnesota each have 3-3 marks. Indians haven't lost, and the Tigers haven't won since the All-Star break. 1 strike to Duncan. 1-1.
Well, we've seen situations like this that Liriano can pick up a strikeout. Needs a ground ball right here. Liriano's had 9 double plays turned behind him so far this year in 18 starts.
A slider and a swing and a miss, 1-2.
Big swing right there by Shelley Duncan at 6'5", about 215. Very good baseball family. Their father, Dave Duncan, of course, a major league catcher, now the pitching coach for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. He's got a brother, Chris, that is currently in the minor league system of the Washington Nationals.
It's hit a long way down the line, but hooking foul. I often thought the coaches have kind of gotten a short shrift when it comes to Hall of Fame consideration, whether they need to have a special wing for coaches. Managers get in, players get in, coaches don't. But if they did, I think Shelley's father, Dave, would probably get some strong consideration for being a Hall of Fame coach. Foul straight back on a pitch left up.
He doesn't get cheated up there. Right-handers hitting 276 off of Lariano. Left-handers only 187. He walked his first left-handed batter in his last start, Juan Pierre, in the 8th inning. All season long. Lariano's done a great job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. Only 2 home runs allowed.
Might be 2. It's 1. Good footwork at second by Hardy to get the double play. Peralta to third, but now there are 2 gone.
Well, this is something that we did in the demo the other night, the instructional with Roy Smalley, talking about the relationship between the second baseman and the shortstop. Hudson getting that one hopper and then feeding Hardy, and then Hardy kind of dragging his right foot behind the bag, getting out of the way of that sliding runner to complete the throw. So a nice turn of a double play there by Hudson and Hardy.
Trevor Crowe at the plate. He's got 4 singles and a double in this series. Lariano gets a swing and a miss. Nice dig by Gutierrez. Crowe just 1 hit last night in his last at bat, a leadoff single in the ninth.
Yeah, Crowe a switch hitter. 3 switch hitters in the lineup here for Manny Active. Crowe hitting .224 as a right-handed hitter.
Called strike with a high breaking ball. 2 strikes. Lariano trying to pitch out of a second inning jam here. Leadoff walk and a single on the very next pitch. Getting ahead of Crowe, 0-2.
Watch Butera move inside.
Got it.
Got him with a fastball away.
Marvelous job by Lariano pitching out of a second inning jam. Still no score. Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com. Go ahead, plan your next Minnesota vacation. That is Eagle Lake near Park Rapids in northwestern Minnesota. Park Rapids Lakes area has over 400 crystal clear lakes, rivers, and streams. Coming up in mid-August, the 2010 Legend and Logging Festival will be held at Red Bridge Park on the Fishhook River. You'll have chainsaw artists there. People sculpt whatever you want sculpt with a chainsaw. Sculpt it, I guess. Here's Michael Kanier leading off the second. And 2 strikes.
Kanier currently on a 5-game hitting streak. 9 hits in his last 20 at-bats, a .450 average.
That one squirted off the end of the bat, and it spun awkwardly toward Westbrook. He did a nice job fielding that ball one away.
Yeah, Kanier's got that down. He's playing pepper right now with a pitcher. A couple times in last night's ball game, hit a ball back to the pitcher, and then he got that infield base hit over the head of the pitcher. Ron Coomer, you're down in that camera. Well, Westbrook, always a nasty sinker.
He does have a good sinker. The one positive for the Twins is they've had some fly ball outs already. To me, early in a ball game, a sinker baller is trying to figure out how much his ball is moving is probably the biggest issue. And for our hitters, if they can get him to elevate the ball like he's done so far, they're going to have some success. Once a sinker baller, to me, keeps the ball down and gets into a little rhythm, it sure makes it tough to elevate the ball.
And you talk to a lot of guys that have good sinkers. Usually in the first 2 or 3 innings, like you're talking about, Ron, they're a little bit on the strong side because they haven't pitched in 4 or 5 days. So they're going to try to overthrow, and then when they start to tire, that's where they get the better sink.
Well, it's true, and we've seen that with Blackie before, where he's come in his first inning, where he's overthrown the baseball a little bit. We see that with Brad Radke. He was a little overstrong, and he didn't have his great command. A lot of pitchers are that way. To me, so far, Westbrook hasn't had great sink, but he's got great movement side to side, although his slider right there is breaking down pretty good.
Well, Jim Thomey's had very good numbers against Westbrook over their meetings. 10 hits in 26 at-bats with a double and 3 home runs.
And he's got a 3-1 count with Westbrook. 1 gone here in the second inning. Thomey takes a walk. So the Twins get a 1-out base runner here in the second. And J.J. Hardy coming to the plate.
Westbrook didn't want to make a mistake right there.
If you're traveling this season, take the Twins with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see Twins games live or on demand. You can get your subscription right now at twinsbaseball.com. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Here's J.J. Hardy, one of the Twins' hottest hitters, with Thomey aboard and 1 down. Average on the cusp of the 250 mark and heading northward.
Hardy has never faced Westbrook.
And a breaking ball over the inside corner.
Westbrook, 31 years old, signed by the Rockies, their #1 pick back in 1996. Came up to the big leagues first with the Yankees in his 10th season with the Indians.
Guys, the one thing I have not seen that Westbrook is doing so far today, and he commented, is him dropping down. That last slider, I don't want to say he totally dropped down, but that's a good 3/4 delivery with his slider. In the inning before, he really dropped down on a slider. Different arm angles today that Twins hitters are going to have to look at.
2 strikes to Hardy. For the hole. Nice pickup by the third baseman, Peralta. They'll get 1, but not 2.
Yeah, very nice play by Johnny Peralta, having to go to his left and got, I think, the ball right at the end of the glove. Able to kind of get himself under control. See him going to his left, right at the end of his glove. Has a little trouble finding it, but does get the force out at second.
So Hardy at first with 2 outs and Punto at the plate. Off the plate, ball 1. Tigers are hosting the Rangers tonight. White Sox are in Seattle tonight. right at the shortstop. Fourth play made at second base. Twins get a walk, leave another runner, no score after 2. They got a leadoff walk and a follow-up single, but Liriano got a big double play ball. Got out of the jam, and now he'll face Jason Donald to start the third.
Yeah, a couple strikeouts for Liriano in the ballgame so far. He came into the ballgame fourth in the American League in strikeouts. Jarrett Weaver of the Angels with 142. Liriano now with 127.
Donald, Jimenez, and Cabrera to face him here in the third. And a first pitch strike.
That's what I was talking about right there. Jarrett Weaver leading, and then King Felix second. And then right between Liriano and Hernandez is John Lester with the Boston Red Sox.
King Felix starting for the Mariners tonight against the White Sox. 1 and 2.
Well, Liriano has 3 pitches. Good fastball, overpowering fastball at times. That nasty slider, and then the circle changeup. There's a good little slider right there, and he picks up his third strikeout. Butera moving inner half of the plate, and you see Liriano right there. Good tight rotation.
So one down, and now Jimenez. Mentioned that Mike Redmond, who was with the club for the first half of the year, recently released. Once the commitment was made to bring Santana up here and play him on a everyday basis. Grounder to third, scooped up nicely by Punto, and a quick second out. Every home game, the Twins honor a local military member, a veteran or current active duty member of the military will raise the flag during the national anthem. Go to foxsportsnorth.com and click on the Twins tab. And at the top of the page, click on the Flag Raisers logo to see all the brave men and women who have a Minnesota connection and who have raised the flag. And you can learn more about these military members and find out how they are protecting our freedoms with in-depth profiles and photos. Plus, you can watch and listen to the national anthem performance from that day. You know, it's a different era in time, but I remember, I'll bet you do too, watching baseball games on TV, and the national anthem was always on before the game on the telecast.
Well, it's a great honor for those guys to do what they're doing as far as raising the flag, men and women, but the great honor is that they've represented our country, and we represented it well, and thank you, everybody, for your service.
Ground ball single up the middle for Cabrera, his first hit since his return to the lineup, and now Jason Nix.
Second hit for the Indians off of Liriano. Comes with 2 outs here in the third inning.
Nix with a bouncer to short his first time up.
Yeah, Nick's getting some playing time here. He really didn't get that opportunity with the Chicago White Sox. White Sox tried to send him out. Claimed off waivers by the Cleveland Indians on June 25th. Nick spent a little time when he first came up to the major leagues with the Rockies. In the last couple seasons with the White Sox before coming over here to Cleveland. Nick's a guy that can play numerous positions. A couple nights ago he started at second. Today and last night in left field.
One and 0 to Nix. And now 2-0. Cabrera just one steal in 3 tries. Among active Indians, the only real base stealing threat is Trevor Crowe, who has 10.
Yeah, the Indians have 47 stolen bases. They've been caught 18 times compared to the 35 stolen bases for the Twins.
Span over toward the gap. Not going to be able to catch it. He'll field it on a hop. And it's a base hit and a 2-out threat for Cleveland, with Nix dropping a single into the gap.
Yeah, Nix at about 5'10". He's a lot like Johnny Peralta. Pedroia, you know, a little compact type, solid little player that doesn't have that big a strike zone, but puts good wood on the ball. Dustin Pedroia with the Boston Red Sox.
Liriano fell behind him, had to come in with a pitch, and Nix got enough of it to drop a base hit into left center field, and now Santana with runners at first and third and 2 out. That's been impressive about Santana, well, many things, but one thing that has been really impressive is his ability to draw walks. Swing and miss. Now he has struck out 21 at times in 114 at bats, so that's pretty good. He's drawn 32 walks.
Yeah, they say in Cleveland what they like about him, too, is his enthusiasm. He calls his own game. They very seldomly will Tilton Belcher have to say, hey, you know, what are you trying to do here? They let him pretty much call the game when he's behind the plate. And they like the way that he goes about his business. Very spunky.
Will be a big part of the rebuilding effort in Cleveland, and the early returns are pretty positive for Carlos Santana. Carl Pavano, Steve Little looking over the book. A year ago, Pavano was still a member of the Cleveland Indians. A nice block by Butera, and it's 2-1. And that's something to keep in mind, too, as you look at Pavano. He was traded in August. He had cleared waivers before he was dealt to the Minnesota Twins. So we talk about the trading deadline coming up and all that. Doesn't mean that trades can't be made. And maybe the signature trade that decided the American League Central was made after the trading deadline last year.
Good change-up right there by Liriano to even the count.
2-2.
Struck out Santana in the first inning on a good slider down and in. That on a 3-2 pitch.
That time.
An excuse me swing. Liriano 2-0 this year against the Cleveland Indians. 4-3 lifetime, making his 9th career start.
Current general manager Bill Smith next to the former GM Terry Ryan. A slider got him, and Santana leaves 2 men aboard, And we have a scoreless 2.5 innings here at Target Field. Found a cloud. There it is. One little tiny cloud here on an otherwise clear day. And if you'd like to cast your vote for the value player of the game, brought to you by Arby's, text the word value followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234234. Drew Butera leading off the bottom of the third inning. Dick Bramer, Burt Bladevin joined by Vice Admiral Jay Donnelly, who in addition to his professional credentials, looks like he's got a pretty good right arm. He did a very nice job throwing out the ceremonial first ball.
Well, thank you very much. That was a great thrill for me to do that.
I thought you short armed that. You threw it kind of low. Good thing Kadire picked it right there.
That's right, he did. Well, he told me I wanted to get a little dirt on that ball as a souvenir. Show it had been used.
It is Navy Week in the Twin Cities, and so we have a lot of servicemen and women here in honor of that designation. 1-2 to Butera and a foul. Now you lead the undersea enterprise. It says here you're the commander of the submarine force in the Atlantic, and you are responsible for all the Atlantic-based U.S. subs and their crew. That's an immense responsibility.
Yes, it's a great responsibility, and I tell you, we have some wonderful men and women working in the United States Navy and in the submarine force in particular.
The Navy SEALs leapfrogs, they parachuted in. Unbelievable sight.
That was quite a demonstration. We have about 100 Navy people here in Minneapolis for this weekend-long event.
And a kick in right field by Duncan, and Butera will run for second and reach safely. Little pop fly down the line, and Duncan got there and went into a slide and ended up without the baseball.
Yeah, it looked like a ball that he should have caught right there. He kind of slid and tried to catch it all in one motion. And as he kind of made contact, the ball ended up squirting away. It was first baseman Matt Laporta that had to go run it down, but Butera, hustling out of the box, makes it to second base.
And it'll be an error charged to the right fielder Duncan. And here's Denard Span. Squaring to bunt and taking a ball. This is one of those situations, Bert, where we've had a number of them. The Twins just simply need to make this work. They've got a runner at second, nobody out. They need to get Butera up to third, hopefully in this at bat, and get him in.
Yeah, they get Butera a double on that play right there. So tough run for Duncan. They felt Butera gets a double, his second of the year.
And back to Westbrook, and Butera will stay at second base. And here are the leapfrogs that appeared just at the conclusion of the national anthem. And right on target. No pun intended. Now, have you done that?
No, I have not.
So you're commanding people who can do something that you can't do?
Well, actually, those very talented sailors are not in my command.
Oh, they are not.
Yeah,
okay.
they're not submariners. They're professional parachuters.
You know, when we go to San Francisco, I've been in the submarine there right by Alcatraz.
Right.
Unbelievable. I can't imagine going under the water. And I know you've probably been in many submarines, but don't you get claustrophobic down there?
Well, I'll tell you, that's an old diesel submarine from, I think, the World War II era. What we're operating today are much bigger and more modern and not nearly as cramped.
Now, how many men in a normal size submarine how big's the crew?
130 to 160, depending on which particular submarine we're talking about.
And how many different submarines are in your fleet?
We have a total of 71 boats. There's 3 different types. Fast attack submarines, or SSNs, and then we have SSBNs, which are about twice as big, and SSGNs, which are a variant of the ballistic missile submarine.
Just outside, and it's 3-0 to Hudson.
And Vice Admiral, how long have you been in the service?
35 years.
And where are you originally from?
Born in Groton, Connecticut. And my father was a submariner, and I have a son that's a submariner.
Now, you threw out the first pitch of Michael Kadire. You said there's some history with the Kadire family.
That's right. My son, who is in the submarine force today, was a Little League teammate of Mike. And Mike was a big star on the team back then, and my son and Mike became best of friends, and they were inseparable in those years while we lived in Chesapeake, Virginia.
3-1 to Hudson. And a walk will put him aboard, first and second. And the point should be made. You threw over him. You didn't throw submarine style when you threw the home plate.
My staff would never let me live that down.
And where are you based now?
I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. And I'll tell you, every day on the sports page, we followed the stats for Mike Kadire.
And David Wright and
quite a few
Uplands are from that area. That's right. First and second, one away. And that'll bring up Delman Young. And the reason I got confused, I saw one hit and one error. I thought Young got credit for a hit in the first inning, but they must have charged an error to Westbrook.
Yeah, they gave Westbrook the error for not getting to the bag.
That's why there's an error on the board. So Butera at second with a double, and Hudson's walked, and here is Young. And a bouncer foul. Now, all this time on a submarine, when you're out there in the water, what do the sailors do for entertainment?
Well, they work awfully hard, but they do find some time to unwind a little bit. We have a huge library of movies on board and DVDs. Sometimes we do card tournaments and that sort of thing. But they work on an 18-hour day, 6 hours. 6 hours of watch, and then 6 hours of sleep, and 6 hours where they can work on qualifications or take some leisure time or do other activities.
And the reason I brought this up is about every other week we're doing a game for the Armed Forces Network. They pick up our feed, and I've imagined people all around the globe on ground watching us. I'm wondering whether you guys have any capability underwater to do any to watch any television.
We videotape your recordings.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And play them back.
Fouled off of Young or the leg of.
Have you heard us? Why would you do that? Now, card games, is there any cribbage involved in this?
Cribbage is often played. There's a great rivalry in submarines and cribbage. But nothing's more American than baseball, so we've always got to have that while we're in the way.
Have you always been a baseball fan?
Yes, I am, man. We've moved quite a bit. Today, I am a Twins fan.
Good.
Well, Delman Young trying to walk it off. Dave Krumer, the trainer, is going to come out and check and see
Well, they have all these video games too now. I can imagine that those are available on the submarine.
They are. Our young sailors are masterful at those video games.
Now, when a submarine goes under, are there? You spend more time above the water or underneath the water? When you're out.
When we leave port, as soon as the water's deep enough, we submerge the ship and do not surface again until we come back into port.
Delman Young trying to walk it off. Not much Dave Brumer can do to help him, I guess. So we'll continue the at-bat. Young stepping back in with a 1-2 count.
Well, good sinker right there, and Delman Young hitting it into the calf area of that left foot.
1-2 to Young. Down the line. And that'll drive in the game's first run and maybe a second. Hudson will be held at third, and Young delivers again. An RBI double, and the Twins take the first lead.
RBI number 65 on the year for Delman Young as he's getting closer and closer on that ladder. But Miguel Cabrera has 82 RBIs leading the American League, but Delman Young getting at some big hits. Just reaching down and poking this ball down that left field line. Butera scores the first run of the ball game. And Delman Young with a double. That's his 27th of the year, tied now with Joe Mauer in doubles.
Jason Kubel will be walked to get Michael Kadire to the plate. Well, you've got to stay here during the Kadire at bat, since there's a connection that you have with Michael and his family. And he's been struggling a little bit here, hitting the ball right back to the pitcher. So we're going to ask you to stay through the Kadire at bat and see if you can be his talisman.
I'll be his good luck to him.
There you go. So the Twins with one run on the board and a chance to break it open a bit here in the third.
Vice Admiral, when you do go down, you say you submerge and then you stay down until you come back up. What's the average length of time a sub is out?
Well, it varies quite a bit depending on the operations. It can be as long as 60, 70 days. That would be the longer underways. Or sometimes the ship's operating out of home port or underway on a Monday and back on a Friday. Spend the weekend with their family. So from a few days up to a couple of months.
So if you're out for a couple of months, you're not submerged for 2 months.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We make our own oxygen. We make our own water. We've got power to run the reactor for 30, 35 years.
How do you make your own oxygen?
We split the water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen, and we keep the oxygen. Use electric current to do that. And it all runs from the reactor plant on the ship, which makes unlimited electricity and propulsion for us.
I can't imagine the food that you guys would have to.
That's the limiting factor. We take typically 90 days of food to sea with us.
Kadire drives one to left, a base hit. Young is coming through, and he is out at the plate. 1 run scores on the play. Young tagged out with the throw from Nix coming to Jimenez on the fly.
Yeah, Jimenez went up the line to get the ball in the air, and Delman Young trying to scoot around him, but it looked like Jimenez ended up getting him on the back end. Base hit right here by Kadire. Hudson scores the second run of the inning, and then the throw from Nix all the way in the air. The home plate umpire Dana Demuth making sure that the ball stays in the glove before he calls Young out.
2 on, 2 out, 2 in, and Tony takes a pitch down and in. Ball 1.
So, Vice Admiral, you were good luck.
That's right. I've done my job today.
A little attention for Young's calf. Foul the ball high in the ankle, it looks like.
Kadire with a base hit. The RBI is 44th of the year, giving the Twins a 2-0 lead.
Swing and a miss. 1-1. So how long are you going to be in the Twin Cities?
I leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Got in yesterday. So we spent yesterday and today and sometime tomorrow just interacting with the citizens and the leaders here in Minneapolis and St. Paul and telling the Navy story. We've got about 100 Navy men and women here as part of the week. We've got the Navy band from great legs. And you saw the leapfrogs perform, and a lot of recruiters from the area. Even a few of the divers that 3 years ago operated on the I-35 bridge collapse.
Oh, is that right?
And was out with the sheriff this morning out on the water to revisit that site with 3 of those divers.
2-2 to Tomey.
I want to go back to the submarine. 135 in that crew. Does everybody have their own bunk?
On the larger ballistic missile submarines, everybody does have their own bunk. On the fast attack submarines, that's not the case. And what we do is we assign 3 men, each in a different watch section, to 2 bunks. And so one is always up and on watch, and then there's always 2 bunks for the other 2, but not necessarily the same bunk every night.
3-2 to Tomey. The runners will take off early. Kubel from second, Kadair from first, and J.J. Hardy on deck.
And you got your education from where?
I went to the Naval Academy, and great education.
Twins with a couple of runs on the board here in the third, looking for more. The bases will be loaded for J.J. Hardy. Second time that Tomey's walked here this afternoon.
I've befriended a colonel in the Navy, Doug Ayers.
I know Doug Ayers.
You know Doug Ayers? Yeah. He's a good friend of ours. We go up to Cataloochee Ranch every winter and ride horses. My wife does. I watch him. I watch him run around.
Well, give him our best.
Very good family.
Right. Navy captain.
Yes.
Well, Drew Butera started this rally with a pop fly double down the right field line. Then Hudson walked. Young cracked a double. Kubel intentionally walked. Kadair with a sharp single. Now another walk. So 3 walks in the inning, and so far just a couple of runs.
And Vice Admiral, you brought us good luck. 2 runs so far. We need another hit, though. You have one more hit in you?
I think we do, yeah. I feel it coming.
I like that new graphic that FS North has put together. Shows who's on base, where they're at, who's at the bat, who's on deck. J.J. Hardy needs a big hit right here.
Ooh, big block by Jimenez, and that freezes Kubel at third base. A wicked breaking pitch that landed in the left-handed batter's box.
As a catcher, you know your Paul slider, and you're hoping that it's down and away, but not quite this down and away. Jimenez doing a very good job of keeping that ball in front of him.
One and 0 to Hardy. Strike on the outside corner. Westbrook hadn't allowed a hit until Butera's pop fly double this inning. Base is full of Twins. Down the line. Kubel scores. Kadair scores. The ball fumbled in right. Tomey will check in at third, and Hardy delivers a big 2-run base hit.
Vice Admiral, thank you very much. You had another hit in you. Very nice. J.J. Hardy continues to swing a hot bat. His 10th of the double, his 10th of the year double. Drives in a couple more now with 18 RBIs on the year. Getting out in front of that ball right down that third base line. Pass Peralta into the corner. Nix has a little trouble getting the ball back in, but 2 runs would have scored anyway. So it's a 2-run double by J.J. Hardy. And you're going to stay here the whole game.
And you know the Baltimore area pretty well, right?
I do.
Yes. Well, we'll take you to Baltimore. We got 4 games there.
All right. I'll be watching
visit some of the old haunts around there.
That's another beautiful park. This one is gorgeous.
Yeah. Here's Punto. See if he can put one more hit on this inning and drive in a couple more runs. A belt-high strike. Westbrook running into all sorts of trouble here. Punto trying to tack on 2 more runs. Bounce to the right side. Donald has it, and the inning comes to a close. Vice Admiral, thank you for stopping by and helping us get a 4-run third inning together.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. By Lincoln Mercury. Visit your local Lincoln Mercury dealer or go to experiencelm.com. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Now Delman Young back in left field and contributing to a 4-run third inning. Grand Casino game reset.
Yeah, J.J. Hardy with a big 2-run double. Michael Kadire prior to that, the RBI single. And Delman Young getting a big hit in that inning.
And Liriano, who walked Peralta leading off the second, now gets ahead of him 1-2.
Boy, you love that too if you're a starting pitcher to put 4 on the board early. And Liriano now continues to do what he needs to do and get quick outs. Picks up his 5th strikeout of the ballgame.
Especially, I would think, since Liriano in the second and third inning had to pitch through a couple of situations to keep the game scoreless.
I always say you want to control both sides of the plate. You got a lot of strikeouts with that slider in, but then right there he goes to a fastball away, and Peralta, very good fastball hitter, doesn't have that good a swing. He might have been looking for that slider down and in.
Here's Laporta. Singled sharply to right field in his first at bat in the second inning. So just what the doctor ordered, a couple of frustrating losses for the Twins in the first 2 games of the series, and now not just the first run, but the first 4 runs. And that ball last night would have landed on the chalk line, and as it is, this one lands 3 feet foul. Last homestand, the Twins were 3-4. First losing a homestand at Target Field. Now they're trying to make this a 4-3 homestand. 2-1. It's hit a long way down the line and foul. We nearly got one of our sailors.
Yeah, the Navy up there almost got a souvenir. Maybe they did.
2-2 to Matt Laporta. With another one headed out there. Not quite as far and hooking a little bit more foul. And Butera comes out to have a chat with Liriano.
Well, Laporta pretty quick inside on those last 2 pitches. Let's see if they work them away right here. Or if they go in a little bit further. Option that the pitcher has. Laporta a little bit of an open stance. And they went away and picked up another strikeout. Strikeout number 6 in the ballgame for Liriano.
2 gone in the 4th. The month of July will end with the Twins playing host to Ichiro and the Seattle Mariners. The series begins Friday night, July 30th. And note that the Saturday game has been moved to an evening game, and that will start at 6:10. Check on ticket availability for the Twins and Mariners. Visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. There's a bouncer left side. Backhanded by Punto. Good stretch by Kadire. 11 pitches in a 1-2-3-4. carsoup.com/baseball. Val Johnson from St. Cloud, Minnesota, asking of you, Bert, did you like pitching better during the day or at night?
I really didn't care. I mean, I just wanted to pitch. You know, I got to play a kid's game for a long time. You get to throw this little baseball around. And, you know, you get used to day games, you get used to night games, but you throw this little baseball right here, it doesn't matter whether it's night or day. A lot of starts for me, 685 career starts, and I guess my night and day weren't all that bad.
Yeah.
So that didn't, you know, you come to the ballpark, you know when you're going to pitch, and my first game up was every fourth day, so you had 3 days off in between, you know, and you got rather ready whether it was a night game or a day game. And then later on, I did like that 11 o'clock game that the Twins used to play, you know, when the Gophers were at the Metrodome. I like that game.
A couple of hops to the first baseman, Laporta. And 2 quick outs here. Here in the fourth, Orlando Hudson will hit. Ron Coomer, what have you noticed about Jake Westbrook?
Well, last inning, when you looked at Westbrook, he had dropped down quite a few times, and we'd all talked about it. And then for some reason, he lost the sink on his two-seamer, and the ball wasn't sinking out of the zone. This last inning, now all of a sudden, he's got his arm back up on top, and you saw 2 really good sinkers, and that was the third one, even though Hudson put a good swing on that one.
And Hudson with another base hit, extending his hitting streak now to 10 games.
Yeah, too many pitches for Westbrook in that third inning, Ron. 34 pitches in that third inning. Of course, the Twins taking advantage of some of the pitches that were left up. And that ball that you see Jimenez wanting the pitch away, but left inside. And Hudson gets a base hit, extends his hitting streak now to 10 games.
A guy with the movement that Westbrook has, it amazes me that he wanted to change his arm angle, being a good sinker baller, and not just establishing that good sinker early in the game. He started mixing things up, and then you're seeing pitches like that. Even though Young didn't hit that ball's belt high, and for Westbrook, that's not a place he wants to be pitching.
1 strike to Young. Got an awfully big RBI double his last time up, driving in the first run of the game. I think he checked. 1-1. Young had just fouled the ball off his ankle, and Westbrook delivered a pitch down and in again, and Young hooked it to left for an RBI double. Hudson goes. There's a swing and a miss, and Hudson with a head-first slide is in safely. Haven't seen the Twins do much base stealing at all lately, and Hudson takes off with a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, it's only the second stolen base this month for the Twins. Hudson getting a pretty good jump. Jimenez's throw right on the button, but Hudson gets a stolen base. His 7th of the year in 9 attempts. And he gets into scoring position with 2 outs.
So in the third inning, Young drove in his 65th run. Now he'll try to drive in number 66. Down and away.
Westbrook made 2 really good pitches, the first 2 hitters with sinkers. Then he dropped down to Delman, and now all of a sudden it's back to where he's trying to figure out where he's going to release this sinker from. It's just kind of bizarre to me because he looks like his two-seamer is really good when he stays on top of the plate.
Well, that's a slider right there, hit down to third. Peralta across the diamond for the final out.
Young retired, and Hudson stranded at second base. Twins out in front 4-0. Francisco Liriano hasn't given the Indians much to work with. A couple of situations he had to pitch around in the second and third innings, but he's pitched very well here this afternoon.
Yeah, 16 batters faced. He's been able to get strike one on 12 of the 16. So doing a good job attacking the strike zone. Falling behind right here to Trevor Crowe. 2-0.
Issued a leadoff walk to Peralta in the second. Then Laporta got a base hit, but then got a big double play ball, pitched out of it, and it's 3-0. Bottom third of the Cleveland lineup: Crowe, Donald, and Jimenez. Facing Liriano. And a missed, and a 4-pitch walk puts him aboard.
Yeah, first walk of the ball game for Liriano.
And that'll bring up Jason Donald. Donald's moved around the infield. He's played some at short, played some at second. I think the Indians would like to get somebody as a fixture at second base. They've had 5 different ones this year. Donald's been in there. Nix, Valbuena, Hernandez, Grudzielanek at the start of the year. There's a strike.
Yeah, Donald coming over in the Cliff Lee trade from the Philadelphia Philly organization. This is his rookie season. Got called up in the middle of May. Got called up actually when Asdrubal Cabrera ended up fracturing that left forearm.
A little pop fly into right field, and Kubel with the catch, and 1 away. And that'll bring up Jimenez. Indians with 3 hits, Twins with 5.
Jimenez up and down last year for the Cleveland Indians. Actually got his first major league hit off of Scott Baker, a solo home run in his first 3rd major league at bat last year.
Strike one. Strike 2.
Good fastball again away. So Liriano here this afternoon, like he did in his last start against Chicago White Sox, working both sides of the plate. Good fastball away, has a little sink to it. Then he can go in with that slider or the circle changeup.
Down and away, 1 and 2.
That to circle changeup, just missing down and away, but good location.
Liriano's gotten 1 ground ball double play. Oh, a drive to left center. And Span has it get by him. Young fires it towards second base. It'll be a double. Jimenez with an extra base hit, building a threat here for the Indians in the 5th.
Just kind of reaching out and hitting in that right spot. Out in left center, Bernard Span dove for it, but Delmon Young, his responsibility is back up the play. See the slider left, not a bad pitch, but the uppercut swing, ball falling in front of Span, gets by him, but Delmon backing up. Jimenez with a double, his first double of the year, on his 2nd hit of the year.
And now Cabrera with a fly ball to right and a base hit in the 3rd. Twins will play the infield back up by 4 runs, but Liriano here would like to keep the shutout intact and pick up a strikeout. He has 6 of them. And a foul, strike 1. I would imagine if you're out there, and as you say, it's a 4-0 lead, but you have to keep telling yourself it's a 0-0 ball game. In this situation, you just don't want to let the Indians come up for air, right?
Well, I think it depends on who's out there. I mean, Liriano is a strikeout pitcher, so he's probably thinking, I can get out of this situation if I make maybe 2 or 3 good pitches and get a strikeout right here. But What you don't want to do is give up a base hit, allow a couple runs to score, and the Indians are right back in the game.
One and one to Asdrubal Cabrera. Foul wide of the bag.
And a change up away. Cabrera goes with it, just misses that first baseline. Now you have him in a strikeout situation right here.
Not sure what the percentage is, but it seems like at least 75% of his strikeouts come on the slider.
He's picked up some strikeouts on high fastballs today too, but we'll see what Butera puts down and what Liriano wants to do. Watch Butera behind the plate, where he'll move.
It was a slider down and in. And
Cabrera held up.
Laid off, 2-2. Did you like it when your catcher, as Butera did there, moved real late?
Oh yeah, you have to, because you don't want that second base runner or someone, if they move too early, that second base runner could put out his right arm and saying, he's sitting in or away with your left arm. So once Butera is going to go out and go over this 2-2 pitch.
In fact, we saw Ramon Castro of the White Sox moving outside and then back inside on the same pitch.
Ron Coomer?
Yeah, I have to agree with you, especially with a guy like Frankie with his slider. What was odd is Cabrera covered the changeup away and hit it down the first base line. So you know that he's definitely aware of the pitch away in trying to cover that. So to me, if the runner on second base is going to show location, if Butera sets up in too early, he's going to give him location in, and you're getting a slider.
Just off the plate, and now it's 3-2. Jason Nix on deck. Cabrera having a good battle here with Liriano.
Now, do you go back to the slider? Do you throw the changeup? Do you just challenge him right here with a good fastball? And he missed with a fastball away.
So 2 walks in the inning, and now the tying run comes to the plate, and Jason Nix. Scotty Elger, the acting manager. Ron Gardner away from the club because of the family situation. We wish Gardy and the family the very best.
Yes, we do.
And Nix, who singled his last time up, comes up with the bases loaded and 1 out. 1 ground ball double play, and most of the batted balls for outs have been hit on the ground here today against Liriano. Back to Liriano. Home for 1. Double play. So that takes care of that. And Liriano has to pitch out of another situation in the fifth.
The lottery winner circle, and our winner today is from Stillwater. Her name is Shirley. Turn around, Shirley, and show everyone your shirt. She is 88 years old, and she has the shirt made specifically. Hold up your sign, Shirley. Congrats. It's not the 8-year-olds with the cutout sign. It's the 88-year-old. And you told me you've been a fan of baseball since you were 8.
Yes, I have been.
Why have you been following this team, the Minnesota Twins, for as long as you have?
I followed them through thick and thin.
Yeah.
No, I love baseball.
And this game today is part of your birthday packet. Your birthday was in March.
Yeah.
You're here to celebrate your second time at Target Field. What do you think of this beautiful ballpark?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Except there are too many people.
Too many people?
Yeah.
We're trying to get people to come. They're selling out every day.
Yeah.
You know what, Shirley? You are pretty lucky because you're in the shade today.
Yes, that's right. Well, my son arranged that.
Well, kudos to your son. It makes the game a little bit more enjoyable when it's this hot.
Great.
Bert has given you a circle. We're giving you $100 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Dick and Bert, too many people. First time we've heard that complaint.
Shirley, happy birthday to you.
Shirley, we wish you the very best. You, however, have no future in the Twins marketing department. Good to see you at the ball game. 1-1 to Michael Kadire. 2-1. Kadire with an RBI single his last time up. Twins put together some walks, some hits. Scored 4 runs in the third against Westbrook. 3-1 with Tomey on deck. You have to give Westbrook this. He's been working very quickly here.
Well, he always has. I remember, when before he was healthy, a guy that got the ball and worked very quickly. He realizes that to have, good defense behind a sinker baller, you need your infielders on their toes, not on their heels. So get that ball and let it go.
3-2. Up the middle. Cut off by Cabrera. And Kadire gets a base hit. The ball gets by the catcher, Jimenez. And Kadire will go to second. Jimenez ran up the warning track to try to back up the throw in case it got by Laporta. It did, and he still couldn't corral it. So a base hit for Kadire and an error charge to the shortstop Cabrera.
Well, the little short hop right there. Laporta can't get it, kind of swipes at it. And good job by Jimenez. Good effort right there. Went a long way to try to back up this play. And just out of his reach.
Basically, catchers
hit it through it to Ron Coomer.
Basically, catchers asked to run, in essence, stride for stride with the batter up the line in a play like that. And Jimenez did what he could, lugging all that equipment up there, and almost made a very nice save. Here's Tomey. He's walked twice today. Strike one. Second Cleveland error. And Kadire gets his second hit. That's the other way, and it'll turn foul. 2 strikes. Tomey, who's walked a couple of times, finds himself behind in the count 0-2. Two strikes. And Kadire goes to third, and he's out by a mile.
I think Michael looked at where Peralta was playing, and he thought, you know what, I can beat him to the bag. And he did not. Jimenez comes up, and even though Peralta's not there yet, Jimenez throws it over the bag, and Peralta applies the tag. Base running mistake right there by Kadire.
And now 2-2 to Tomey. Close pitch taken for ball 3. Westbrook thought he might have hit the corner. Westbrook started and stopped, and Thome asked for time. It's the third time that Thome has walked against Westbrook, and that'll bring J.J. Hardy to the plate. AT&T Trivia, beautiful summer afternoon. Which Indians pitcher has the most all-time wins against the Twins? As a Cleveland pitcher.
And as a Minnesota Twin since '61. I'm assuming, don't go back to the Washington Senators. We could say Bob Feller, maybe?
No, yeah. One strike. That's into right field. It'll be a long run again for Duncan. And this time he makes the catch. Very similar to the ball that Butera hit that started the 4-run third inning.
And with some pretty nice conditions. You know, any stormy weather that was in Baltimore is going to be long gone by this point. Clear skies, warm air in place. Still a little muggy, but hey, at least it's going to be a dry summer day for you.
Well, it's always warm and muggy in Baltimore. We're looking forward to getting out there, and Twins taking their swings against the Orioles. Orioles split a 4-game series here earlier in the season.
Yeah, it'll be the only time that the Twins go to Baltimore for that 4-game series, and then we'll be done with the Orioles.
A drive to left off the bat of Santana. And Young on the track makes the catch, one away.
They got a little bit off the end of the bat. Santana gave it a ride, but Young going to the warning track to make the catch.
Just watching Santana, and he's shaking his head from side to side. I think he thought that he got enough, but visiting players are learning what the home players have learned for a long time, or known for a long time here. The ball just does not carry as well here as it does in some parts. So one down quickly, and here's Peralta, and he lifts it foul and out of play. Peralta with a walk and a strikeout against Liriano. Liriano's issued 3 walks. 2 of them have been leadoff walks, and in each case he's been able to pitch around those walks to keep the game scoreless for Cleveland. 1-1. Peralta and then Laporta here in the Cleveland 6th. That's poked to right with Peralta. reaching across the plate and picking up a 1-out single. Might have broken Peralta's bat on that swing. He got a base hit, but whenever a Twins pitcher breaks an opponent's bat, the Minnesota DNR will produce 100 new trees that will be planted in Minnesota state parks and trails. The Twins support the state parks. You can too. Learn more at www.mndnr.gov. And eventually they'll look something like that, perhaps. Here's Laporta, single in the second, and Liriano struck him out in the fourth. With Liriano's sixth strikeout, it's also his most recent strikeout.
Yeah, good slider right there. Laporta, remember, he hit a couple long foul balls, and then Liriano finally struck him out with a good fastball away. Started him off with a good slider down and in.
To Kadire, a double play. So the Indians have hit into 3 double plays so far through 6 innings, and Liriano's got a shutout going. Leading 4-0. It was nearly 5-0.
Well, in the third inning, Delmon Young trying to score from second base, and that angle right there shows you that maybe he missed him, Jimenez, of Delmon Young, but this is the angle of the umpire right there, Dana Demuth, and that's what, he didn't maybe get the angles that we got, but he thought that Jimenez ended up tagging out Delmon Young, and he was called out.
Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze can with Nick Punto leading off the Twins' sixth. And a little roller hit to the second baseman. Donald to Laporta, 1 away. Here's the Quest High Speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet.
Yeah, Jake Westbrook clocked as high as 91, and Francisco Liriano at 93. See, that's where I'd like Blackburn to be. Sometimes, in our Quest High Speed pitch with Blackburn out there, you see 93, 94, and Westbrook, a sinker ball pitcher, he's not going to throw 93, 94. He's going to stay in that 88 to 91 range to get that sinking fastball.
And the news of the day, Blackburn temporarily is out of the rotation. Brian Dunsing is in, starting Friday in Baltimore.
Yeah, Westbrook 10 ground ball outs so far in this ball game.
Have you seen enough of Westbrook today to convince you that he would be an asset to a contending team?
I think he would. The thing is, coming back from the Tommy John surgery, you don't know what you're going to get. Liriano came back from it last year, and he had a frustrating year. It was more mental than the physical part, but Westbrook looks like his arm is solid. He's pitched 120 innings so far, and he's been around the strike zone.
That would be a concern for me, the 120 innings in his first full year back from the surgery. If you're a contending team, you want somebody to take over your spot in the rotation and fill out August and September and hopefully beyond. But we really didn't know what Carl Pavano was going to provide for the Twins or anybody else until he was given that opportunity, and he ended up over the course of the season pitching more than 200 innings.
Right.
2-2 to Butera.
He's got a very nice delivery. He works quick, throws strikes. His arm, good follow through right there. He doesn't recoil. Before the surgery, he had 3 straight years with the Indians from 2004 to 2006 that he worked over 200 innings a year.
Now, you brought your hands over your head in your delivery. Westbrook does that. Very few pitchers do that, and I know firsthand young pitchers, little league pitchers, are taught not to do that, most of them.
Well, it's a timing mechanism, and that's the way I looked at it.
And Butera retired, 2 down. You can log on to FoxSportsNorth.com and talk all things fantasy football and baseball with Bo Mitchell, the newest member of the FoxSportsNorth.com team. Bo will answer all your questions every Thursday at noon. Don't forget to check out his blog while you're there.
Every pitcher is different. I liked it over my head, only like Westbrook did. It's a timing thing. Okay, step back and now then explode toward home plate. I just thought there was a little bit more of movement in me, or as Westbrook, we don't just come set and then throw. There's just a little more body put into it.
I mean, back when I was in high school, and that was a long time ago, but I think my baseball coach at the time said, bring your hands over your head because it stretches out your back muscles, your arm muscles, your shoulder muscles. And you don't buy into that. You don't think it makes any difference in terms of preparing your body to throw a baseball?
Well, it may. I mean, again, everybody's different. You look at guys that don't go over their head. They still have to bring that arm back and pull that muscle back before you extract it toward the plate.
High fly to right off the bat of Span. Duncan comes in. And Westbrook has his first 1-2-3 inning. On to the 7th. It's 4-0 Twins. Summary with the Twins up 4-0.
All the scoring in the third inning for the Minnesota Twins. Galvin Young getting a base hit, an RBI double, and then 2 batters later, Michael Kadire an RBI base hit, and then J.J. Hardy a 2-run double. And Francisco Liriano 6 shutout innings so far. He's given up 5 hits. 3 double plays have been turned behind him, which is always a pitcher's best friend. And Liriano with a couple walks and 6 strikeouts.
Here's Shelley Duncan. You follow by Trevor Crow and Jason Donald. You're looking at Liriano, but let me, if I may, ask you about his battery mate, Drew Butera. This is another very well-pitched game. with Drew Butera behind the plate. We've seen Carl Pavano and Drew Butera match up, and Pavano's pitched well with Joe Mauer behind the plate and also Drew Butera. And maybe we should be tipping our cap a little bit to the catcher here in today's game, too.
Well, what you get out of Drew Butera is a guy that is known for his defensive ability. Great play by Nick Punto.
And the throw offline, and Kadair will be able to deflect it. Punto fielding that ball right at the feet of Doug Eddings, the third base umpire, and firing across. It'll be an infield hit for Duncan.
Wow, such a nice play right here, and you can see the ball down the line. Punto getting a short hop. You know, sometimes you grab that ball and the ball will sail on you, and that's what it looked like it did right there. Kadair have to run after it. So a good effort right there by Punto, but the ball sailing up the line, and Duncan getting an infield base hit.
Third time the Indians have had their leadoff man on, and now Trevor Crowe will hit. You were saying about Butera.
Butera is, you know, he's such a small target. He's known as a defensive catcher, same as his dad. They get very low. They move. They give you a really good target. And there were certain catchers that I really enjoyed throwing to. Phil Roof was a big man. You know, he got very low, though, but I really enjoyed Jim Sundberg. Sundberg really got low. And, you know, Joe Mauer is he's a bigger man than Drew Butera. He just gives you a smaller target.
And I guess without offering any commentary on Mauer, he's an all-star catcher, a Gold Glove winning catcher. If you're wondering as a fan, all right, why Drew Butera, he's hitting 150. Here's why. He's a very good caller of the game and a very good defensive catcher. And it's probably not a coincidence that some of the better pitched games for the Twins have been pitched while Butera has been catching.
Well, there's certain pitchers throughout baseball history that had their own personal catcher. Steve Carlton had Tim McCarty.
Right.
You know, it was in Boston with Tim Wakefield. Jason Varitek had a tough time catching knuckleball, so they'd always have a backup catcher.
And you brought up the other day Henry Blanco and Eddie Perez with the Braves catching Greg Maddux. Yep. 2-2.
There's that relationship you have to have, and you know Drew Butera, he takes a lot of pride in calling games. I'm not saying that Joe Mauer does not, but Drew Butera is just a smaller target down there. Look how low he can get. He gives you a good glove. You know, with Tim Laudner. Tim Laudner was a big man, but he got down low for me.
Well, now it's a full count. And with Duncan at first, nobody out. We'll see if they send him here. The Indians have hit into 3 double plays. That's helped Liriano get through 6 shutout innings as well. Full count. And a chopper. Liriano fires. And they got the out at first. That looked like trouble. And if Liriano hadn't made the ball or fielded the ball cleanly and made an on-target throw, it could have been a tough play.
Yeah, he's the only one that could have got this ball right here. Too far for Butera to go out, and Liriano spins around and throws it high, but right to Michael Kadair. So, you know, when you have that 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball, he needed it right there.
Jason Donald will hit. Donald with a strikeout and a fly ball to right. And we'll just mention it in passing. Jose Majares has started to hit a little bit at AAA. Wilson Ramos still hitting in the low 200s. So it would appear Jose Morales, I'm sorry, is the one of the catchers in Rochester. So it appears that the Twins made quite a shrewd choice when they came north with Drew Butera out of spring training.
Well, they wanted Ramos to go down and get some at-bats.
Right.
Morales was on a disabled list. He was still recovering from injuries. So, yeah, I mean, what you get out of Drew Butera is a guy that has thrown out 7 of 13 potential base stealers. He's got a great arm back there. Offensively, you know, if he can hit 200 or higher, that's a big plus. But his main thing here is to handle a pitching staff. That's what he takes more pride in. He'll go 0 for 4. He doesn't care about that. But if he can handle that pitcher late into the ball game, that's 4 for 4 for him.
Mariano with 1 out in the 7th has yet to throw his 100th pitch. This will be number 93.
And he was brought up that way too. Sal was the same way. Not a good, not much of an offensive player, but a great handler of his staff. and they accept their role. Good block right there by Butera. They accept that they're going to play maybe once a week. And they're going to get ready. They're going to be ready for that one game. You know, Mike Redmond was very good at that.
Sure. But Redmond, you know, I mean, he would all his hits look the same, but he got hit about 300 every year with the Twins.
Right.
2-2. Jason Donald. Proper foul.
And Butera, one of those young kids that always has a smile on his face. He knows what it takes to get here, and he wants to stay here. Guys like Drew Butera, I mean, they can stay in the big leagues a long time. A lot of clubs are looking for a good second-string catcher.
Corky Miller is still playing, and he's hit about half in his career what Drew Butera has hit. And that's outside, 3-2.
Chad Moeller, we saw him. I mean, he's still, you know, he's with the Yankees up and down, with the Brewers up and down. Well, you can be a solid backup catcher. They're hard to find.
Full count, one away. Liriano trying to take care of business here in the 7th with a runner at second. Butera will go to the mound.
.95 pitches for Liriano. 59 have been strikes. 3 walks in a ball game, 6 strikeouts. His third outing of the year against the Indians came on April 21st, and he ended up pitching 8 shutout innings in that start. Twins won that ball game.
Another miss outside. First and second, one away.
The 4th walk of the ball game.
Number 9 hitter Jimenez at the plate. He doubled his last time up. Here comes Rick Anderson to the mound.
Yeah, the 4 walks for Liriano, a season high 5 walks, but that came in his opening start against the White Sox in Chicago, and that was that cold day in Chicago. So he's done a very good job of not walking a lot of batters. Twofold right here. Anderson knowing that he's getting to that 100 pitch magic number, and then also giving him a little breather right here.
Trying to move things along here.
Liriano's second start against the Indians, that came on May 2nd in Cleveland. He threw a career high as far as pitches in an inning or a game, 123. Saw Crane getting loose.
A 4-6-3 double play in the second. A 1-2-3 double play in the 5th, and then a line drive double play in the 6th that helped Liriano along. And of course, would love to get another ground ball hit at somebody, maybe get the 4th double play turn behind him. 1 strike. Just off the plate. And that's
a very close pitch right there.
Liriano has just missed on that pitch quite often here.
Butera sitting away, and boy, Youth has really good eyes.
A built-in foxtrot. 1-2. Had a chance in the second inning, a leadoff walk, follow-up single, then the big ground ball double play. Should be pitch number 100 for Liriano on the afternoon. Strike 3 on a slider down and in. 2 down.
Boy, a nasty slider. Good downward break on that, and he picks up his 7th strikeout.
Sundays this year are Blue Bunny Kids Days. Kids Day tickets are half price in the U.S. Bank home run courts when an adult ticket is purchased. Before the game, there are kids-only player autographs, and after the game, kids can run the bases on Target Field. check out ticket availability for the next Blue Bunny Kids Day. Call 800-33-TWINS.
Big strikeout right there for Liriano for the second out of the inning.
Here's Cabrera. Side of ball.
Let's take a look at the strikeout of Jimenez right here. Watch the downward break on that slider. Jimenez could not hold up.
Hits are even at 6 apiece. Liriano trying to complete a 7th shutout inning. 1-1. Cabrera's reached his last 2 times up.
Yeah, Cabrera thought that pitch was high.
One and one. Cleveland's leadoff hitter. And now 1-2. Even though it's a shutout, you'd be hard-pressed to expect Liriano to pitch 9 innings here, I would think.
Wow, the way that baseball is played today, I think if they can get Liriano through this inning right here, they'd be very happy with his performance. And that's what he's been able to do in most of his starts, go deep into the game.
Protecting the plate, Cabrera keeps his at-bat alive.
For Liriano, this is start number 19. 15 or now 16 of his 19 starts, he's been able to pitch 6 or more innings. And if he can get this last out right here, 11 of his 19 starts, he's been able to pitch 7 or more innings.
Another 1-2 to Asdrubal Cabrera, and he asks for time. Yeah, there's really been one painfully short start right before the break in Detroit against the Tigers. 7 earned runs in an inning and 2/3. Other than that, he's picked up a lot of innings along the way. All back. His career high in pitches thrown came earlier this year against Cleveland, in Cleveland, 123 pitches. That was enough for 7 innings.
Well, there it is right there, 25 pitches in this inning, the most he's needed.
And another foul.
What a difference a year makes for Francisco Liriano. Last year, just a frustrating year, 5-13. Just coming off the Tommy John, I think he's shown now that elbow area is healthy. Pitched, of course, like all the starters, a little bit better here at Target Field than on the road. Looking for win number 8 this season.
That one landed about 3 feet in front of the plate. And it evens a count at 2-2. A wild pitch, and now Duncan and Donald are both in scoring position. It's a 2-2 to Cabrera. Got him. 7 shutout innings for Francisco Liriano. Stay tuned for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. To the ball game.
I don't care if I ever get back, so it's
No. They wanted us to let them hear sing, but boy, why? Liriano right there. 108 pitches for Liriano, 68 strikes.
And Orlando Hudson will lead things off in the bottom of the 7th against a new Cleveland pitcher. Minnie and Paul overlooking the field here, and Rick Anderson, I'm sure, appreciative of the efforts of Drew Butera through 7 shutout innings.
Hector Ambrose coming out of that bullpen, making his 21st relief appearance. 12 walks, 20 strikeouts in 29 2/3 innings for Ambrose.
It'll be Hudson, Young, and Kubel.
Ambrose started the season on a disabled list, had some tendonitis in that right elbow, activated in the latter part of April. This is his rookie season at the major league level.
Hudson singled his last time up to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. And he takes high, ball 1.
Jake Westbrook had one bad inning, the bottom of the 3rd inning that got away from him. 4 hits by the Twins, 3 doubles when they scored the 4 runs. He worked the first 6 innings.
2-0.
Ambrose with a good fastball in the low 90s, tight curveball, hard slider, and a split finger.
Ooh, screen in front of the Twins dugout.
That's getting out front right there.
2-1.
Mentioned it the other day. Thank goodness they have those screens here. The dugouts are so close to home plate.
And foul the other way, 2-2. How close were the dugouts at Met Stadium? I'm just thinking from memory, they weren't nearly this close, were they?
No. Probably double that. They took a pretty good walk after I struck out. It seemed like it was a mile to get to the dugout.
Two and 2 to Orlando Hudson. And up the line to Jerry White.
Hudson in his last at bat, a base hit. Now on a 10-game hitting streak. That ties a season high that he had earlier this year.
Hudson looking at the handle of his bat, checking for its integrity. Nothing wrong with the bat. Put the barrel on it and spanked a single to center.
Well, he's been swinging a good bat. Good to see Orlando Hudson having really good at bats. 17 hits in his last 40 plate appearances. Got a fastball up and hit it right back toward the middle. And Donald diving for the ball, but it got by him very quickly.
Delman Young with an RBI double in the 3rd inning when the Twins scored all 4 of their runs. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss. And now 1-1. Young 65 runs batted in, still plenty behind the leader Miguel Cabrera with 82.
Everybody has a comfort zone in the batter's box, and Delman Young has found that comfort zone. Those little things, you know, when he gets into that box, plants that back foot, you can see him lay the bat down and kind of mark where he wants that left foot to be. See the line right there he created.
And another big thing. Pair of singles to start the 7th inning.
And I would imagine, you know, I mean, he's kind of spread out a little bit. So he's kind of taken his bat and said, okay, I'll go one bat length, whatever that is, 33 inches, 34 inches. The bat marks the line and says, okay, that's where I feel comfortable. And he's really keeping his weight back very nicely. I know Roy Smalley, Ron Coomer, Tim Laudner have talked about Delman Young before. He kind of hit off that front foot. Now he's hitting more off the balance of the back foot. And it's really paying off. All those, you know, minutes and hours he's worked with Joe Vavra on trying to get that swing down, and it's really paying off for Delman Young.
Jason Kubel intentionally walked in the 4-run third inning, a fly ball and a ground ball bookending that plate appearance. Down low, ball one. Swing and miss. Another homestand where the Twins' power or lack of it really not much of a factor. So far, just 2 home runs on the homestand, Delman Young and Jim Thome. Of course, the fact that Twins have had to play the whole homestand without their top home run hitter, Justin Morneau, hasn't helped. Justin will not be coming with the team to Baltimore.
Yeah, if Justin's watching again, we want you back 100% and get healthy soon.
Official word from the Twins is he is progressing daily, but still not ready to resume baseball activity. Wide of the plate, 2-1. So Kubel with 2 men aboard, looking for his first hit of the ball game, and perhaps his first home run of the homestand. Strike to even the count. The acting manager, Ron Gardenhire, missing the game for a family matter. Half swing, did he go? Strike 3, and Kubel is gone on strikes, 1-1.
Yeah, home plate umpire, the crew chief Dana DeMuth, asking Doug Edmonds down at third base if he thought Kubel went too quick and went too far. And Edmonds said he did. So Ambrose picks up a strikeout. This is the look that the third base umpire saw. Very close.
Here's Kadire. Hits his last 2 times up. This is Cleveland's second trip here to Target Field. They'll come again toward the end of September. The Twins have 2 trips to Cleveland. First weekend in August and the second weekend in September. Lays off, 2-0.
You see Ambrose has a very good fastball. He split the season between AA and AAA last year for the Arizona Diamondback organization. A Rule 5 pickup by the Indians. Got to booster their bullpen a little bit.
to center. And Trevor Crow comes in for the catch, out number 2. And that'll bring up Tomey. Tomey a couple games ago hit one over 440 feet out to right field.
Well, today a walking for Jim Tomey. 3 at-bats. He's walked all 3 times against Jake Westbrook. Westbrook worked the first 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs all earned, 4 walks, 1 intentional. That being Jason Kubel in that 4-run 3rd inning.
Inside ball 1. Inning started with a pair of hits by Hudson and Young. Kubel on a check swing struck out. Kadire with a little fly ball to center. And that one hits the inside corner. Texas playing at Detroit tonight. Chicago playing at Seattle tonight. White Sox have recovered nicely from losing the last 3 of their series here. Inside, and it's 2-1. '47th consecutive sellout, 48th sellout overall here at Target Field. 40,799 paid. Foul back, swing by Tomey, and it's 2-2. And the attendance figure higher than it was at the start of the year because the Twins have sold some standing room only. I guess you can't call them seats, can you? Standing room only. What would you call that?
Tickets.
Tickets, I guess, yeah. 2-2.
All I know is down the right field line, the Dutch team is here. The Orange team is here. They've got that area surrounded. All Little League teams.
2-2 to Tomey.
There we are.
And now 3-2. And the 2 out, the runners will leave early. Hardy on deck.
You see, when Jake Westbrook was in there, the game was moving a little bit. But Ambrose taking a lot of time between pitches. Slowing down the game.
See if Tomey can draw his 4th walk of the game.
I hit it out.
It's the 4th walk of the game. So now they're loaded up for J.J. Hardy.
Well, Hardy got one of the big hits in that 4-run 3rd inning, the 2-run double. Came with 2 outs. Tim Belcher out to talk to his right-hander.
And that was a bases-loaded situation in the 3rd. Hardy has said that he's finally feeling comfortable at the plate. Over the last couple of years, had gotten into a lot of bad habits at the plate, and he's had to fight his way through those and work his way out of those. And the results are pretty evident. As he averaged up to 250 after being down in the 2 teens when he was playing while he was hurt. Bases full of Twins with 2 out. And a breaking ball over. Strike 1.
Yeah, good curveball right there for strike 1.
2 on a breaking ball.
Another good curveball. Yeah, good tight rotation. You do it again, why not?
Two strikes to J.J. Hardy. Fastball up and in.
You almost guess he'd have to come back with that other breaking ball, the curveball.
This will be his 28th pitch of the inning. Hardy bounces it left side. And over to first, the Twins leave the bases full. On to the 8th inning. Twins up 4-0. Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Treat yourself to a caramel or mocha ice blended frappe. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's national clearance event. And by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet.
Jesse Crain coming into the ballgame. Francisco Liriano, 7 shutout innings. 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. He allowed 6 hits. Crain worked in last night's ballgame through 14 pitches. A lot of times you'll see Matt Guerrero in the 8th inning, but Matt worked 2 innings in last night's game. So Jesse coming here to hopefully pitch a shutout in the 8th inning to keep the shutout alive.
It'll be Jason Nix, first man he'll face in the 8th, and Santana and Peralta. Nix, 1 for 3, bounced into a big inning-ending double play. Bases full, 1 out. He hit one right back to the mound, short center field. Hardy retreats. 1 pitch, 1 out. Hardy with the sunglasses, able to see the ball making the catch, and Crain gets a quick first out. That'll bring up Carlos Santana. Santana was wearing out Kevin Slowey yesterday. Faced him 3 times and hit the ball hard every time, and then the Twins turned him around in the 8th inning as a right-handed batter, but Maharas walked him. And that ended up costing the Twins the ball game. Hafner followed with a double. Today, Liriano faced him as a right-handed batter, and he just didn't seem to swing the bat quite as well.
As a left-handed hitter, he's hitting .351 so far.
The breaking ball gets a called strike 2. 1-2.
Got the curveball over for strike one. Then he tried that little slider, inner half of the plate.
One and two. And missing the inside corner again. And a tapper foul. Santana, the designated hitter, Maniaci using his two catchers in the lineup. Something they were reluctant to do with Victor Martinez. They gave Martinez a secondary position. Let him learn how to play first base. There's a called third strike, out number two.
I went to the little cutter on the outer half of the plate, and Crane picks up the strikeout. 9th strikeout of the ball game against the Indians. Good pitch down and away.
So 2 down and now Johnny Peralta. The benefit in having Victor Martinez learn how to play first, or if the Indians were to do that with Santana, if you do have a need to move him behind the plate, you don't get penalized for moving your first baseman behind the plate. You do if you move your designated hitter behind the plate. 1-0 to Johnny Peralta. But losing the designated hitter for the rest of the game. And now 1-1. Two and one. Twins 4 outs away from making this a 4-3 homestand. Bouncer to Punto. Perfect throw across the diamond and a 1-2-3-8 for Jesse Craig.
And we hope you'll stay with us for our Quest Twins live postgame show. It'll include the Toyota postgame wrap where we highlight Francisco Liriano lifting the Twins with 7 strong innings in his start this afternoon. We'll always bring you player reaction and again do that today, hopefully from the winning side of the Minnesota Twins and pitchers fielding practice. Bert, we thought this afternoon we'd let you get your sweat on, show us how to field that ball properly. It's all coming up after the game.
Oh boy. That'll be fun. Be a gimpy out there. Well, Jess Todd coming in to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. He worked here a couple nights ago, worked 1 inning. He struggled through that inning, gave up a run on a couple hits, 23 pitches in that inning that the Indians ended up beating the Twins 10-4. Todd just getting called up, making his 2nd appearance.
Twins will send Nick Punto, Drew Butera, and Denard Span up against Todd. Indians haven't lost since the All-Star break. They've swept the Tigers and winning the first 2 here. Twins go to Baltimore after the game. And the Tigers return home, open up a series, a homestand, 3 with the Rays and 4 with the Yankees. They succeeded in changing the complexion of the American League Central. Now they'll try to change the complexion of the American League East.
Yeah, this was just a little short trip for the Indians, coming from Cleveland, playing the weekend, and then going back home. Twins actually have that off this road trip. Just come back for that 3-game series against the Mariners, then back on the road again.
Yeah. 7-game road trip, 3 at home. And then a 10-game road trip. The Minnesota high school math says that 17 of the next 20 will be away from Target Field.
Very good. Your math teacher would be proud.
I had several. There isn't one that can really take credit for my prowess.
Mine was Mr. Rank. What a great name.
Mr. Rank?
Mr. Rank. I didn't know his first name because we called him Mr.
How many years did you have him?
13.
Yeah. 3-1 to Punto. And Punto draws a leadoff walk.
It's a 6th walk that the Twins have taken here this afternoon. Tomey has walked 4 times.
We're back to our AT&T trivia question. Which Indians pitcher has the most all-time wins against the Twins? I'm going to go way back and say Sam McDowell.
Well, you know what I thought of? I was going to say C.C. Sabathia. I thought of Charles Nagy. I thought of Greg Swindell. But it was C.C. Sabathia.
And you were going to say that, so
yes.
That's the correct answer.
Right. I had it written down right here.
Did that work with your math teacher when you explained to him afterwards you were going to say the answer was? No.
Breaking ball right there, getting away from Jimenez, and Nick Punto moves over to second base. Wild pitch will be charged to Todd. Making just, again, his 2nd appearance, just being called up from AAA. Jimenez tried to block it. The ball ends up behind him.
One and 0 to Butera. He tries to push the ball to the right side and get Punto up a base here. Checks the swing, but takes a strike. Another check swing. This one a ball, 2-1.
Well, we We saw from Todd here a couple nights ago a sinking fastball in the low 90s. That last pitch, the tight slider. Work in a circle changeup. Came over from the Cardinal organization in the Mark DeRosa trade, along with now closer Chris Perez.
And Butera flares one down the right side. Foul, 2-2.
Perez getting the save last night. That was the first save by either side in the first 8 ball games played between these teams.
Anthony Slamma warming up with Matt Guerrero. Slamma just called up yesterday. And Butera takes a strike over the inside corner, 1 away. If you don't have a Minnesota Twins reward MasterCard, right now is a great chance to sign up for one. Sign up now and earn a huge signing bonus to earn points towards $25 reward certificates. You can sign up today at 833-TWINS. Span 0 for 4. Would like to get a hit here and get Punto in from second base. Outside. Span with a strikeout in the first. Comebacker to the mound in the third. Ground ball to first in the fourth, and a fly ball to right. Outside again, 2-0. Mentioned over the course of the other telecast that the Indians lead the American League in walks allowed, and Westbrook struggled a little bit with his control. As you mentioned before, Tony's walked 4 times. Punto walked to start the inning. Span takes a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, they walked the most batters in the American League, and they have struck out the least amount. Tim Belcher has his work cut out for him,
as Carl Willis did before him. 2-1 to Denard Span. And now 3-1 with Hudson on deck. Span will walk first and second. Nobody's put a ball in play here in the 8th. All week on Fox Saturday Baseball, or this week rather on Fox Saturday Baseball, Paul Konerko and the White Sox will go to Oakland to take on Kurt Suzuki and the A's. It's Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Taco Bell at 3 o'clock. Hudson, the hitter, with runners at first and second and 1 down.
Well, Todd has thrown 15 pitches, only 5 strikes.
Hudson with a fly ball, a walk, and a pair of singles in that order so far this afternoon. Strike 1. Hudson with the hitting streak, getting the average to climb out of the 280s into the 290s now. It's down the line, but it'll be a foul ball. 2 strikes. Put away 1-2. He's not throwing many strikes, and he's taking an awfully long time between pitches.
We saw the same from Hector Ambrose, too. Same thing.
They've all gone to the Rafael Betancourt School of Pitching. Betancourt, a long-time reliever for the Indians, and still does take forever in between pitches. And Hudson fouls it back. Still 1-2. Trying to get some insurance here in the 8th inning. Just Todd's trying to help. He's walked a couple of men here, a couple of men with 1 out. And now 2-2.
So far, what I've seen from Jess Todd, it's the breaking ball that's his best pitch. And fastballs, he's really been holding, pushing them outside. Jimenez has caught a couple that have been about a foot outside. Struck out Butera on a good hard slider.
And now it's a full count to Hudson with Young on deck.
He tried the slider right there and missed low.
Full count to Orlando Hudson. Runners go, swung on and missed. And it'll be a double steal with Hudson gone on strikes.
Yeah, Punto getting a pretty good jump right there. Denard Span, always, you know, that trail runner, you have to make sure that Punto takes off. And both of them will get credit with stolen bases. On a 3-2 pitch. Punto taking off. No throw to third base. But Hudson does strike out for the second out of the inning. Todd picking up his second strikeout.
So 2 in scoring position now for Delman Young. A couple of hits, a run batted in. A chance to pick up a couple more here with 2 gone in the 8th. Smothered by Jimenez. Young got the last Twins hit last inning. A single to put runners at first and second with nobody out. But Ambrose got out of the jam. Fouled back, 1-1.
We got a fastball right there, fouled it straight back.
One and one. Ball hit. Oh, a wicked hop. And the ball skips into left field, center field. Cabrera had that ball come up and bang off his shoulder. And Young should get a 2-run bad hop single.
I'll tell you what, we played, 40-some games here. This is the first time I've seen a pop like this that just got away. It will be a 2-run single for Delman Young, as he picks up his third three RBIs in the ball game.
You just come off the disabled list, and 2 games into it, you get probably the wickedest hop you'll face all year long. Look, you didn't get that one in the lips. Here's Kubel.
They always say get your face in front of it. He almost did.
And Kubel takes a strike. So Todd ends up paying for the walks. A couple of earned runs charged to him. And it's 6-0. Fouled away. Four runs in the third, 2 so far here in the 8th. It's been all Twins in the series finale. 2 strikes to Kubel. One and 2. This will be the 29th pitch for Todd. And Kubel's called out on strikes.
Hey, Todd struck out the side.
Anthony Slamma about to make his debut. And more clouds, but a beautiful day here at Target Field. And there's a Toyota game reset.
Well, the Twins putting 4 runs on the board in the 3rd inning off of Jake Westbrook. 3 doubles and a single in that inning. The big off the bat of J.J. Hardy. A 2-run double. That gave the Twins a 4-0 lead. Twins added 2 more in the bottom of the 8th. Now Anthony Slamma making his major league debut here. Those are his numbers from Rochester. Very good numbers.
And a strike to Matt Laporta. The 2 runs the Twins got might have gotten Slamma into the game. The Twins had both Guerrero and Slamma warming up, and maybe with a little extra lead, the Twins decide to let Slamma make his major league debut. And Laporta spanks a single to left. So the leadoff man on here in the 9th. That'll bring up Shelley Duncan. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Well, the Twins are already put 2 on the board thanks to an RBI double by Delman Young and an RBI single by Michael Kadire, but a 2-run double by J.J. Hardy.
Hardy delivers
a 4-0 lead.
Duncan takes up high, ball 1.
Well, the scouting report on Anthony Slamma, who we've seen him in spring training a little bit, sinking fastball, hard slider, and a changeup. There's a breaking ball right there. Slamma, 26 years old, signed by the Twins back in 2006 out of the University of San Diego.
He has always been, professionally at least, a relief pitcher. He's never made a start. A year ago, he was closing games for the AA team in New Britain. Called up to Rochester and has been there all year long. Foul. Still 1-2.
Slamma, 6'3", about 205. Grew up in Orange County, California. Actually, he and his dad, Tom, he and I kind of had the same friends together growing up. His father graduated from Garden Grove High School in 1968. I graduated from San Diego. I did graduate in 1969.
Down and away, 2-2.
Had a chance to talk to him a little bit last night and reminisce a little bit about our growing up in Southern California. Slamma went to Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana.
See, I never questioned the graduation part. It was the growing up part, I think, that wasn't sure about for you.
I never want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
2-2. Twins fans have heard about Slamma. Now they get a chance to see him in his major league debut.
I'm sure he's pretty nervous right here, and both parents are here too. Mom and Dad are here, so they get a chance to see him. They said they weren't going to be able to go to Baltimore. They got to head back to California.
High fastball gets him. 92 miles per hour up around the letters, one away.
Well, the first strikeout in his major league career comes in his second batter. That being Shelley Duncan, chasing a high fastball.
And now Crow. In describing Slamma, Ron Gardenhire's talked about the little funk in his delivery. And I don't know that he's got quite the funk that, say, Justin Masterson, the starter for the Indians last night, has, but he's got kind of something unusual, kind of slings the ball a little bit.
A little herky-jerky.
Yeah. They take the ball out of play, his first major league strikeout.
And his first major league out.
Want to know. And a strike, 1-1.
Pretty nervous young man right here. Not Crow, the guy out on the mound.
Hey, I like him already. He's wearing stirrup socks.
Yep.
Don't see those much anymore.
Well, we used to wear those in the 70s and had to show the TC on the sides.
1-2. Here it is. See if he can hit it. 2 down.
Just rearing back and challenging Crow, and he gets his second major league strikeout.
It's a 2 down. And Jason Donald, last hope for the Indians.
Well, Slamma had 64 strikeouts in 52 2/3 innings down in Rochester.
One and 0 to Donald. Drew a walk his last time up.
As a pitcher that came up at a young age like myself, you want to cherish this moment right here, but you also want to get off the mound as quick as possible.
2-1. And before you think that he's trying to copy Carl Pavano in the publicity photo we get here at the start of the year, Slamma's got a little bit of a mustache that he's carried with him.
Yep. Another good fastball.
2-2. And the Twins fans encouraging Anthony Slama in his Major League debut. Bouncer to third. Punto sets and fires. Not a safe situation, but Slama finishes his first Major League game. And the Twins win the series finale.
A great job by the pitching staff here this afternoon. It was led by Francisco Liriano. 7 shutout innings, 8 strikeouts for Liriano, 6 hits. And Liriano picks up his 8th win of the year. Exactly what the doctor ordered, a good quality start.
Jimmy John's delivery of the game from Francisco Liriano, who came up with 2 big starts in this homestand. And the Twins come out of the All-Star break with a 4-3 homestand. Marnie?
And Dick, they also snapped a 6-game winning streak that Cleveland had going. So coming up, we will look at this win from Minnesota. Ron Cooper will join me at the desk. Francisco start, pitcher's fielding practice on the field, and reaction from Scott Alger coming up next.